Hi everyone. So today is day 31 of GAPS diet and I am on stage 4. I haven't posted in a while. There's a couple reasons for that. One is just I had some things happening in my life that kept me pretty busy. And the other is just that I was finding I was kind of posting the same things a lot day after day and was just trying to figure out how I could keep it from just being like complaining about some of my struggles and not be just about the foods I was eating, especially because I do often kind of eat the same thing for a few days in a row. So I just started spacing it out a little bit more and then got pretty busy, was working some extra shifts and stuff. So here we are. So I guess 2 days ago I moved on to stage 4. I haven't reacted to anything that I can tell so far, so that's good news. A couple things, I know this is like so weird, but I'm gonna just tell you about some of the things that I think are improving for me. So one is that I had been getting headaches for like my whole life, and you know, in the past 5 years, I would say I was probably getting them at least twice a week, pretty badly. Probably 3 days a week, I would be taking like Advil and Tylenol for a headache. So I haven't had a major headache since the first week of GAPS when I had like those 2 like pretty tough days. So that's amazing. Like I've had a couple sort of light, like feeling a little bit niggling headaches, and I think that's just been die-off. So that's exciting. I broke my ankle last January, and we're now in October, and every day I was having pain in the morning, like a lot of stiffness, and I would sort of limp still in the morning. That's completely gone. It doesn't swell up anymore. It doesn't swell up at work. It's not painful when I wake up in the morning. I was also having general joint pains, like especially after working. I would wake up in the morning the next day and be really stiff, especially by the end of my set, and like really stiff. Like I'd be like walking like stiffly, like a little grandma. And I don't feel that way at all. I will say I've still had some anxiety. I feel like it's been more hormone related than anything. Another thing that's exciting is, sorry if this is too much information, but I just got my period again, and it already feels like a way less painful period than what I've had. So basically since I was 13 years old, I've had extremely painful periods. My ex-boyfriend used to wake me up in the night to tell me that I was like moaning and sweating and shaking, like really, really bad menstrual cramps. And usually the first 2 days are the worst. And yeah, so far, like I wouldn't say that I have 0 cramps, but it's nothing compared to what it usually is. So I'm really hoping that that's a sign that that's gonna be the way things are. Also, usually before my period I get a really sore lower back, like almost like I sometimes have to take days off work because it goes out, and that didn't happen at all this time, so I'm really excited about that. One thing that I'm feeling a little bit frustrated about is I don't feel like my skin is really improving. Like I still have like kind of spots of psoriasis. So I don't really know how long that's supposed to take to go away. I had an interesting comment on Facebook from a nutritionist who, I don't think she's a GAPS practitioner, but she's a GAPS coach maybe, who said that fermented dairy are really good for skin issues because they tend to be candida related. And so I'm going to give the dairy-free thing another week. I told myself I would give it 3 weeks. It's been 2 weeks now. I don't feel like I've noticed like massive improvements without it. It seems like I'm trucking along kind of just the same. So I think in another week I might try slowly reintroducing some fermented dairy and see how that affects things. Because it is something I would like to have in my diet in terms of getting a nice variety of bacteria. And it's yummy. That's just the honest truth. And also if it is something that can help my skin, my skin is something that I would really, really like to work on. Again, I feel like this cheek has gotten less red and this cheek has not. So now I feel like they're unbalanced, but I'm just not going to fret about that and just see how it goes. I'm just carrying on, and I decided to move on to stage 4, quite honestly, because it's this weekend was Thanksgiving here in Canada, and my sister wanted to roast a turkey, and so I went out and got a local organic pasture raised turkey and prepped the bird all up with organic celery and onion and herbs from my garden and things like that, and put ghee instead of butter under the skin. And so I decided what a better day to try a piece of roast meat than Thanksgiving. And so what I did is I brought all of my own food otherwise. I brought a cup of broth to drink with it. So I had a slice of turkey. I made some cauliflower rice with onion, leek, garlic, salt, kale, and then I riced the cauliflower and I cooked all of that in just a little bit of broth, like almost like you would do like a risotto or something. I just let the broth cook off of the cauliflower, and it was really good. And I also cooked a bit of squash in a little bit of broth as well in the oven. And so that is what I had for my Thanksgiving dinner, and it was really good. And I also made coconut water kefir, since I'm not having the fermented dairy right now. And that's been really good as well. I've been putting it when I strain out the grains and put it and like actually bottle it, then I put in a sprig of mint, a couple slices of lemon, and a couple pieces of ginger, and it tastes great. Yeah, so I'm happy to have that as a drink. So I had that and my broth, and yes, it was hard to watch people eat pumpkin cheesecake and pie and cranberry cheesecake and things like that, but I probably felt better than they did after dinner, let's be realistic. And it's just, it's what my body needs right now, and it's not forever, right? Like, no, I probably won't ever really eat those things again in a surplus, but on the full GAPS diet, I'll be able to make some dessert-like things for myself using dates and fruit and things. So it's just for right now that I'm on the intro diet, and I'm happy with that. And I'm really happy. Today is 1 month, 31 days, but 1 month. So I started September 15th. Today is October 15th. I've made it a month. I have successfully gone a month without coffee. To me, that is the most extreme thing. I have to say, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. Coffee is the thing I miss the most, and it's not just because it helps me wake up or keep me awake for night shifts and stuff. It's because it's like part of my routine, and I love the taste, and yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do when I reach full GAPS. Like, I know it says that you can have weak coffee. I don't know. What are some of you guys doing out there that are now on full GAPS? Are you drinking coffee at all? I've always made like really full-bodied, rich, dark coffee, strong, and put cream in it. And it's like my favorite. I did get into bulletproof coffees for a while there, so I'm happy to do that. Like, I would happily use some ghee and coconut oil and whatever and make like a really nice bulletproof coffee. I'm just not so sure about the weak coffee and how weak does it have to be, and I don't know, you guys, like, tell me, should I bring coffee back into my diet because I love it and I miss it, or is it something that I really should keep out of my diet? I don't know. You hear such mixed things about coffee, and like I said, I really do love it so much. And I feel like there's a culture around coffee too. Like, I miss going out to a coffee shop with my girlfriends and just having a cup of coffee. And I feel like that's something I could do with a weak coffee and just get it 3/4 of a coffee and then add water to it. So if anyone is watching and has some thoughts on that, let me know, because probably the reality is I'll probably go back to coffee because I love it. But I'm very impressed with myself that I've gone 1 month completely caffeine free. And I'm trying to think what else. I've lost 10 pounds. I'm hesitant to talk about weight loss, although it is something I was hoping for. I want this to be more about my overall health than a weight loss journey, but I think it would be neglecting to be honest about the whole situation if I didn't say that that is one of the positive things that is happening for me, is that I've lost some weight. So last I checked was a little while ago and it was about 10 pounds. I'll probably weigh myself again in about a week and see how it is. But I'm trying not to get too focused on that, because really the whole point for me is how I'm feeling in my body. And the other big thing, I don't know if I showed you guys my tongue before, but it had some like white parts on it, and I'm sorry if this is too much, but I'm going to show you my tongue because I can't believe how good it looks and how healthy it looks. Oh, I have toothpaste on my mouth. But it's like so pink. There's hardly any white. I feel like I've noticed a couple like small white streaks at the very back that are still getting smaller and smaller, but I just feel like that's such a good sign. Like, the tongue is the beginning of the digestive tract, and if that is what it's looking for, then I really feel like I'm on the right track and doing the right thing for my gut health, which is the whole point. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it tonight. As you guys know, it's not been without its struggles for me, and I'm sure I will continue to struggle in a lot of ways. One of the things is I feel like I've gotten into eating too many squash pancakes. So I need to kind of rein it in and figure out, now that I'm getting into the stages where I have a bit more freedom, how much soup should I be eating? Is it really just the broth that's important, or should I still be eating soup like a couple meals a day? I feel like I've been eating soup like one meal a day, and I'm still feeling really good, but it's just different now with this flexibility to be eating other things. Like, and then it's also hard to rectify, like, okay, these feel like I'm eating pancakes, but they're not really bad for you. They're like mostly egg and a bit of squash and like a tiny bit of peanut butter. So I feel like that's like not a bad thing to be eating, but at the same time it feels odd. I don't know. If anyone else is having any experiences like that, comment, let me know. And otherwise, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is feeling good about their journey if you're on it. And maybe if you are interested in starting GAPS, hopefully this is giving you some idea of what it can be like. Okay. Night, guys.